7 years ago. And it still fit me. So, this is going to be so much fun. I heard so many interesting stories during the pictures. People telling me that they've watched Joseph all their lives. Started when they were 5. Before they were born, I was doing this. And it made me realize this is more than just a show. This really is our lives. And this is one of the things I want to do during this sing-along. Yes, we're going to sing, and you guys, I want to hear some singing. Do you know the words? Yeah, that was a stupid question. But we have the words at the bottom of the screen. You probably saw it at the opening. So I want you to read those. But this is the way I want to start this. Yes, we're going to have a lot of fun. Yes, you know the story, the backstory, all this, but you don't know the preparation that it took to get to this point. So I'm going to give you a perspective that you probably don't have of the preparation that I went through to become Joseph. Sometimes people think, well, you get a script and say, yeah, let's do it. Let's go do a show. You learn the songs, you learn the dances. And that's pretty much what everybody does. I do it a little differently. I do the research. I find out a lot about the person. And the research, you guys, I mean, it was just like, you can't believe what I went through to learn the life of Joseph. But here, I want to follow this so I can get everything right. Here's an insight of the beginnings of Joseph for me. I had heard the story, obviously, from the Bible, growing up, but it was Marie. It was Marie that really introduced me to Joseph. Back long before Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice wrote this thing. They wrote it in '79, which, by the way, debuted in Scotland. And I'm going to be there in December. Can you believe I'm going back to Joseph? Thank you very much. Right here. Okay, I'm going to digress here for a second. Can you imagine, you guys? Now, you know, Pharaoh is clear up on the steps, and this big face comes up. I don't know what the set is going to be when I go to Scotland. But rest assured, it's going to be pretty dramatic, right? I am going to be Pharaoh, and I'm going to walk down. And when I see Joseph for the first time, can you imagine the lines that I could say? Like, for instance, hello, Joe. A loincloth, I feel your pain. Whatever it might be, whatever. Because I want to come out of character. I want to break that fourth wall. And I'm hoping the director, I'm hoping Andrew Lloyd Webber will let me break that fourth wall, because that's going to be part of the fun of it. Just saying, I know what you feel like, buddy. I'm glad I'm not wearing that anymore. Stuff like that. Anyway, back to the script. It was Marie's version of Dolly Parton's song, Coat of Many Colors, that introduced me to the fact that, oh, there's music to this story of Joseph. And it wasn't just a song that she recorded. This, because you probably haven't heard Marie's version. The reason why you haven't heard her version, it was a demo that she sent to this guy in charge of the Nashville MGM Records division. He heard that Coat of Many Colors, and that's why Marie got a contract, and that's when she recorded Paper Roses. So it was Joseph. It was the story of Joseph that gave Marie her recording career. Shortly after that, I think it was around the mid-'80s, my brother Jimmy, who we all love and adore, he was playing a role of Joseph in this play with the longest name in history, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and they didn't spell color correctly. Sorry for the Brits. Sorry. Yeah, you had the language first, so they got it right. So anyway, I went over to the Poconos, northeastern Pennsylvania. Really? You know where the Poconos are? There's a little theater there that he was playing this in, and it was just the audience was probably 50 people. It was just such a small little theater, and I went there to support him. And it was the cutest show in the world. Okay? Now, I hope I don't bore you with this because it's important that I set the stage of this. This is my memory of the musical Joseph. It was Marie's little song, Jimmy's little play. It's now 1991. The end of 1990 was Soldier of Love was a big hit. Sacred Emotion was a big hit for me. And I wanted to do something to redeem myself from the big failure that I had on Broadway, where I opened and closed the same night. It was a show called Little Johnny Jones, and I promised myself that I would someday redeem myself with a musical to erase that mistake, even though I talk about it every night here in this theater. So I'm living in St. George, Utah at the time with my wife and kids. Yeah, baby. And my manager at the time calls me and said, they want you out to audition for a play called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Now, think about this. All I know about the musical is Marie's song and Jimmy's cute little play. Now, let me back up a little bit. I'm not an actor. I'm a singer. I don't really want to be an actor. I have no desire to be in movies. I like what I do on stage. I like to sing, right? But for some reason, you guys, I had this desire in me to check myself into a place called the Beverly Hills Playhouse to learn how to act. And I'm thinking, why am I doing this? This is prior to getting the offer. So the offer comes in, and the only way I can do these auditions in New York City, because I'm so busy in Los Angeles with the acting classes that I really didn't want to do, and trying to figure out the next album and whatnot. The only way I could do it was to take a red eye from Los Angeles to New York, do the audition, and fly back. And I thought, I'm not going to get the gig, but it's good experience. On the way to the airport, I stop at Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard, and I pick up this. Did you work there or something? I don't think it's even there anymore, right?
Knows how old I am.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, exactly. But I got a CD of the soundtrack because they said, we want you to sing Any Dream Will Do and Close Every Door. So I said, okay, I'll get the CD. I'll learn it on the way to New York. I'll do the audition, come on back. Go to the airport, get on the plane, put my headphones on, we take off, I hit play, and I fall asleep. The next thing I know, we're landing. I am so freaked out. I have to get to this audition. I'm running late, so I tell the driver, step on as fast as you can. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So I get to the theater, and there's a lot of people lined up to audition for this part. And I'm panicking. I'm saying, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Donny Osmond, you're next. I walk out on stage, and it's just like the movies, you guys. There's what's called a ghost lamp on stage with one light. There's an upright piano with a piano player on it, and empty stage, and you can't see anybody in the audience. There's nobody in the audience except maybe I see about 4 or 5 people out there. Can't see their faces. But those are the producers. And I walk out in front of the stage. I said, Mr. Kubinski, I'm not prepared for this. Guys, you don't ever say that to a producer. He said, what? That's the way he talked. And I told him the problem. I told him the situation, what had happened on the airplane. He said, well, you gotta sing something. I said, well, I can sing you some of my songs at the piano. Go ahead, fine. So I kicked the piano player off, and I sing a couple of, Sacred Emotion was one of them, and I finished these 2 songs, no applause. at all. These pieces of people are just jaded. And I walk up in front of the stage thinking, okay, I blew this. Tell me to get off the stage now. And Mr. Dubinsky says, you gotta sing something from the show, kid. I said, well, Mr. Dubinsky, the only way I can do this is to read the lyrics off the CD booklet. I know the melody, but that's the way I have to do it. He said, well, I'll just get it. Yeah, go do it. Now I know why. I had a desire, something inside me was saying, check yourself in to learn acting. So I said, I'm going to do Close Every Door, the hardest one of the two. Intro starts. Close every door to me. Hide all the world from me. Bar all the windows and shut out the light. And I went into this. What's interesting is as I was singing, I was alone. As you've seen me on stage, I kind of close my eyes sometimes when I sing. The reason I do that is I go someplace. I went someplace when I was singing Close Every Door, and I threw myself into it. You know at the very end, for we know we shall find the high note. I never heard anybody do that. It wasn't on the CD, but I went for it. And I had lots of oxygen in my head. For we know we shall find. I hung on to it for a long time. Our own peace of mind, for we have been promised a land of our own. But that's not what happened. I finished, and you could hear a pin drop. And the next thing I heard was Garth Drabinsky's voice saying, come here, kid. I walk down. As I get closer and closer to these 4 or 5 people, their faces start to have light on it. I can see who they are. And I walk up to Garth, and he says to me, I'm canceling all the other auditions. You're the Joseph I want.